Welcome to Studio 10.
We're showing you a great fall recipe from Lucy Greer this morning on Studio 10. Get this, it's chicken pot pie, but with butternut squash as well.
Interesting. And the Jeopardy Teen Challenge starts today. One of this week's contestants is a teenager from the Gulf Coast.
That is exciting news. And get in the holiday spirit with beautiful music. We'll learn about this year's Christmas Spectacular concert. Welcome into Studio 10. I'm Joe Emer alongside Carly Bray. Carly, good to see you again.
You too. Glad to be here.
Yeah, glad to have you here. It's been a little while since you have hosted last, filling in today.
Yes.
So excited about that. We've got a lot to talk about.
We
Let's
do.
start with this. Teens go head-to-head on Jeopardy this week, and there's a local student competing.
Hi, I'm Maggie Brown from Pensacola. Watch me on the Jeopardy Teen Tournament.
Tournament is back.
Maggie Brown will be competing in the Jeopardy Teen Tournament. It runs today through November 20th. Maggie is a student at Pace High School. You'll see her debut on the show November 13th. You can catch Jeopardy every weekday at 6 p.m. right here on Fox 10.
How cool.
That's super exciting for her and her family and her friends to be able to check her out. I love the show Jeopardy as well. I watch it all the time.
It makes me feel really smart when I answer a question right, because that's very rare.
I watched it with my kids the other day, and I got the Final Jeopardy, and I was like, yeah, I got Final Jeopardy. And they're like, what are you so excited about? I'm like, you'll understand
You'll understand
later.
one day.
Yeah.
I actually have family who went to Pace High School, so I wonder if they know her. I should reach out and ask. That's pretty awesome.
That would be very cool.
Yeah. Also today, is Shrek getting a Minion makeover? Variety reports the Shrek franchise is getting a reboot. It would be overseen by the creator of Despicable Me. Universal's parent company now also owns DreamWorks Animation, which made the Shrek movies, and it wants some fresh storylines for the big green ogre. The producer tells Variety he hopes to bring back Shrek's original voice stars like Mike Myers and Eddie Murphy.
So I don't know if it's, we use the word reboot, but I don't know if it's a reboot or more of a sequel if you have the original stars
Like a
coming
collaboration
back.
type.
Yeah, kind of like a reinvention of the Shrek series. Well, I know a lot of people absolutely love Shrek and love those movies. Heidi Klum just went as Shrek, the Shrek characters for Halloween.
She killed it too. She was awesome.
Those were awesome costumes. So Shrek will live on, it
Yeah,
seems like.
Shrek's very popular among, well, really everyone.
Yeah, big fans of Shrek.
Not just for kids.
Talk about a boss of a prize. Bruce Springsteen is the latest celebrity featured on Omaze, the charity auction site. All you have to do is donate $10 or more to the Bob Woodruff Foundation, which helps military veterans heal and find new careers. You could be flown to New York to see one of the final performances of Springsteen on Broadway. You'll also have a private meet and greet with Bruce and win a Fender American Vintage 52 Telecaster electric guitar. That was a mouthful.
Yeah.
Signed by Springsteen. To enter, just go to omaze.com. The boss is one of those legendary icons in music, of course, got his big start in the very late 70s and gained more popularity in the early 80s, and still today, still having such a big impact and a huge following.
Yeah, he's definitely going to go down in history as a legend for sure.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Rock and roll, yeah, there you go. Well, a big honor for Ariana Grande. Speaking of music, Billboard is naming her its 2018 Woman of the Year. The 25-year-old pop superstar is being praised for her strength and courage and her involvement in social issues. Besides having 3 top 40 hits this year, Grande also took part in March for Our Lives in support of smarter gun control. She also helped organize the One Love Manchester concert, raising more than $23 million for bombing victims. She'll receive her award at Billboard's Women in Music event next month in New York. And Joe, this couldn't come at a better time for her because she's dealing with so much with her loss of Mac Miller, who she dated for so long, and now just recently going through a breakup with Pete Davidson. So,
Right, and they were engaged to be married as well. So her last year, I think sometimes a lot of people say, well, they're a celebrity, whatever, they've got $1 million. Her last year has been incredibly emotional.
Right, up and down.
With the bombing to the relationship situations to everything that's going on. And always people are battling it out over everything she says on Twitter and everything that people say about her on Twitter and all that kind of stuff as well. So good for her to be receiving some recognition moving forward.
I think she deserves it too.
Yeah.
Well, after nearly a half a century, a documentary featuring performances by the late Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, is finally being released. The film, titled Amazing Grace, will debut Monday at the Doc NYC Festival in New York. Franklin passed away in August at the age of 76 from pancreatic cancer. The documentary shows her gospel performances over 2 days at the New Temple Missionary Baptist Church in Los Angeles in 1972. It was shot mostly by director Sidney Pollack. The music was released, but the film was held due to technical issues. Pollack died in 2008, and Franklin sued in 2011 to prevent the film's release, saying she only granted Pollack permission to release it. According to Variety, Franklin's estate and the film's producer, Alan Elliott, reached an agreement to release the documentary.
So if you're a big fan of the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, you may have a chance to see that moving forward. We have a link between the last two stories. Ariana Grande, of course, one of the performers chosen to pay tribute to Aretha Franklin at her
funeral.
At her big funeral.
Yeah.
Aretha Franklin is just, we've said it before, especially in the past month, one of those performers who is just legendary, iconic. You hear her voice,
and you know it.
You know it's Aretha. What people don't know is a ton of the backstory, unless you're a big fan of hers. So that documentary may shed some light on
sure.
that.
Well, we all know the chicken crossed the road, but what about the salmon? Well, for these fish in Washington State, it actually happened. Alexis Leonard is a fish hatchery specialist who spotted over a dozen salmon swimming across Highway 101. The road was flooded at the time, which made the trek much easier for the mothers to be. According to Leonard, this isn't an unusual sight in Washington, but it sure makes for some great video.
That's some funny stuff
that.
there. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that either. You know, we have seen a lot with the causeway and the roads getting flooded during hurricanes and stuff, but why did the salmon cross the road to get to the other
side? Of course.
Salmon, very healthy for you as well,
gosh.
if you're a fan of
If you're
healthy
interested.
food. Yes. Speaking of food, it is time now to go into the kitchen. It's a Wednesday, so Lucy from Greer's was here earlier. She taped this. It's a butternut squash chicken pot pie. Back in the kitchen with Lucy from Greer's Markets. Lucy, great to see you as always.
Thank you.
It is the fall. You've got some good warm food for us. We can talk a little bit more about that, but let's start with the food. What are we going to make?
We are making a fall version of chicken pot pie. So today we're going to fill it with some of the usual suspects and also some butternut squash, which people are really into really all year long now, but especially during the fall, and some mushrooms and some thyme. And so we're going to get started first on sauteing some of our veggies.
You know what I just realized?
What?
We were supposed to have pumpkin spice lattes on the show together today.
Oh, I forgot.
We forgot. We both forgot.
Okay.
When you started talking about squash and I saw the orange, I put it together. It's like, oh man.
We'll have to do it when it gets closer to Halloween.
Yeah, okay. We'll do that for sure. If you missed it, neither one of us have ever had it. We know everyone talks about them all the time, so we figure why not try them together and make a pumpkin spice latte party here on Studio 10.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Okay, so I just did a tablespoon of olive oil, a tablespoon of butter, and I have about half a cup of onion chopped up and the same amount of celery.
Okay.
So we're just going to put that in there. And then I was also getting to work on the fresh thyme that I mentioned. It comes, right there in the produce department. Fresh thyme is one of my favorite herbs, and you can definitely grow it at your house. It grows well, or of course buy it right there in the grocery store. We sell it in these little packs, which is really great because it doesn't come with too much. A lot of people, you use it for like one recipe, and then you're like, oh gosh, what am I going to do with it? And I, wasted all this money. So these are really inexpensive, and it really is going to add a really nice flavor to our chicken pot pie. So also with that in here, I have half a teaspoon of salt, and I have a 1/4 teaspoon of poultry seasoning, and that is going to, and it's just a little bit, but it's really going to add a warmth to our chicken pot pie and that flavor of fall. Of course, it's used when you're getting ready for Thanksgiving and doing your turkey. And then I also have a little bit of pepper in there. So we're actually going to wait and add these at the end.
Okay.
So once I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit.
Okay.
So once we let the onion and celery go for a few minutes, we're going to then add in the mushrooms. So this is just an 8-ounce package of mushrooms, and I use the cremini ones, which are the darker ones. And I just quarter those, or you could chop them up even further. And the reason why we don't want to add the salt here at the beginning is because if we add the salt onto these mushrooms before they get a chance to brown up, they don't want to brown up for you. Because the salt draws moisture out of things, and so the mushrooms won't get that nice brown color. So when you're cooking mushrooms, just add the seasoning at the end if you want them to get nice and brown, which we do. So we'll go ahead and add these in. So our veggies are going to get soft, and our mushrooms are going to brown up. And in the microwave, I have our butternut squash. So I'm using about a 2-pound butternut squash, and I'll show it to you. I cut off both ends, and then I put it in the microwave for about 4 minutes just so it can soften up and we can peel it. And so we're going to dice that up and get it roasting in the oven.
All right, sounds good. We're going to take a little break. We'll come back and do that. We'll talk more about what's going on for Halloween this year at Greer's, and much more here to come on Studio 10. Thanks a lot, Lucy.
Thank you.
Well, coming up, 4 bike rides and a street party are happening in downtown Mobile. You can sign up now for Gears and Beers and get your tickets for a holiday tradition on the Gulf Coast, the annual Christmas Spectacular presented by the University of Mobile. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Studio 10.
It's become a much-loved tradition on the Gulf Coast. The 16th annual Christmas Spectacular is coming up next week. Tickets are on sale now. We're here with Jenna Goodwin, production director, and Dr. Roger Breland with the University of Mobile. Good morning to both of y'all.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you so much for being here. I like your shirt, Jenna.
Thank you so much.
This year's Christmas Spectacular shirt. Roger, I'll start with you. Tell the folks a little bit about this tradition of the Christmas Spectacular.
Well, we started 16 years ago with a Christmas concert at a university. Had no idea what it would grow into. We roped off a building with 500 seats and 2,000 people showed up, and now over the years we have about 10,000 every year now. So it's very exciting with 300 students on stage, lots of musicians, and it's a fun night.
Why do you think it's caught on so much? What do you think it is that draws people to this event in particular?
Well, the number of students is one thing, because we have so many students there. Their parents and friends come, and then the people in the city have gotten to know the fact that this is a fun, spectacular evening. There's so many varieties of students there, styles of music. It's kind of Radio City South.
All right, so let's go a little bit more into that. Jenna, tell us a little bit about this year's production. What will the folks see when they come on out?
Well, like you said, there's just so much variety. So there's everything from classic songs with a jazz band to more classical. We're going to feature some of our graduate and doctoral students. And then there's something fun. The 12 men of UM always have a surprise that the audience can look forward to.
Well, that's one of the things I was going to ask you are some of the songs the same traditionally year after year and some new ones? How do you guys pick the selections each year?
Yeah, so we really have a couple of songs that we repeat every single year, really because the people ask for it. They say we want to hear Oh Holy Night, you know. But we always have a surprise in store. We always love to be able to feature all of our students, all of the different ensembles, and surprise the audience so that they have something to look forward to.
And I think that's great because for a lot of families, the holidays and Christmas is marked with tradition, so you're going to hear some of the traditional songs, but you're going to see some new stuff as well. So tell me about some of the dates, logistics, and how folks can get tickets.
Well, hightickets.com, and Jenna, I think they're online at our website also.
They are. umobile.edu/Christmas is another way that you can find them, and it's November 15th through the 18th at Cottage Hill Baptist Church. It's 7 p.m. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and a 3 p.m. matinee on Sunday.
Now, in the past, have these sold out? Do we need to get tickets as soon as we can?
You really do. Yes. I mean, we have tickets available. We still have tickets available, but some of the nights are getting pretty close, so we encourage people to get their tickets quickly.
All right, so if you're watching now and you want to make this a tradition for your family or want to make sure you can come on out and see it, get tickets now. There you see the website on the screen. We're also going to post a link to that on our website, the Studio 10 tab on fox10tv.com. Thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Carly.
Well, grab a bicycle and sign up for Gears and Beers. It's a collection of 4 bicycle rides and a street party in downtown Mobile. The event is a major fundraiser for the Delta Bike Project. We're going to learn more this morning from Jennifer Green. Jennifer, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
So glad to be here, for you to be here. So first of all, for those who aren't aware, Tell everybody what the Delta Bike Project even is.
So the Delta Bike Project is a nonprofit community bike shop, and we help all sorts of people in Mobile. We have open shop hours so people can come down and learn how to work on their bike. We have everyone from families to people in need come down that only use bicycles for transportation in Mobile.
Wow. And so you're having a fundraiser to kind of raise money to support this organization. Tell us about what's going on.
That's right. So this is our 4th year of Gears and Beers, and it has grown exponentially. This year it's going to be great weather. We're expecting up to 1,200 cyclists to come to Mobile. They're coming from all over the Northeast. We've got people from New York, people from Texas, people from California.
Yeah, we're taking a look at some pictures now, and so you mentioned in the commercial break that you have so many people coming, and this is such a great event, not just for the Delta Bike Project, but for Mobile in general. It brings lots of money for the economy.
That's right. Last year we had an economic study done, and this brought $1.5 million in economic impact to the city of Mobile. So these kinds of recreational tourism events really are making a difference for our city. And who knew Mobile was going to be a cycling destination?
Yes, that's awesome. Great to see the growth happening in Mobile for sure. So Gears and Beers, what is it and how can people get involved?
So we have 4 rides this Saturday. The doors open at 5:30 a.m. We have everything from an 8-mile ride for a beginner all the way up to a 100-mile ride that goes all the way to Dauphin Island and back.
Cool.
You can sign up the morning of starting at 5:30.
Okay, so is it how much is it to sign up? Where can they go?
There's 4 different prices for the rides, and that's all on our website, which I know you're going to post, so you can look there and you can pay in cash or with a credit card when you come in.
Okay, so they can go ahead and sign up now.
You can sign up at the event.
Only at the event. Yep. Okay, so remember that, guys. You can only sign up at the event, not ahead of time. Yep. And is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, we just are so excited about this for the city of Mobile. We're at Fort Condy this year, which is a new location, and it's going to be super, super cool. We're going to have a great time.
That is awesome. Well, if you want to sign up for this, make sure you go to our website, fox10tv.com. Under the Studio 10 tab, we will post all of this information for you guys right there for you at your fingertips.
Thank you
so much. Well, up next, we're back in the kitchen with Lucy Greer. She's sharing her recipe for butternut squash chicken pot pie.
Back with Lucy from Greer's, working on some chicken pot pie today. Lucy?
Yes, we are working on a fall version, and you have done a great job with our veggies.
You know, I do what I can.
I know.
I aim to help out.
Joe is good in the kitchen, and he is working on our onion and celery and mushrooms. So we are cooking that in a combination of olive oil and butter, and we have that on medium-high heat. We wanted to get some color on our mushrooms, which we're doing.
Right.
So that's smelling really good. And right now I am working on our butternut squash. So I had about a 2-pound butternut squash, and I just trimmed off the ends, and I poked a few holes in it and popped it in the microwave. And I cooked it in the microwave for just about 4 minutes or so, just until it gets soft enough to handle, so to peel. So if anybody has ever cooked with butternut squash before, it is very, very hard. It's very firm, and it can be very hard to peel. So if you just soften it up in the microwave a little bit, then it peels easier. And I just peeled it with a knife, or you could do a vegetable peeler. And then I just took on one end, you know, pumpkin, the seeds and the insides are all throughout the middle. But on a butternut squash, it's just on one end.
Okay.
So you will find the seeds and the insides in there, and you can roast the butternut squash seeds just like pumpkin seeds. My mom always roasted pumpkin seeds when we were little.
Yeah, we did that too.
Oh, they're so good. I love that. So you can do that with butternut squash too. And now I am just, as you can see, it's still really firm.
Right.
So I'm just dicing it up into just kind of small cubes. And I have the oven on at 400. So we're going to toss it in a little bit of olive oil and salt and pepper, and just let it soften up a little bit so, you know, it's almost fully cooked when it goes into our pot pie.
So how you doing with your fall decorations at the house and stuff? You guys ready?
Well, let me just say that the fall decorations at our stores are a lot better than my house.
Yeah.
Luckily, my neighbor, Jinx, is always taking care of us, and for every occasion, she puts a bow or a wreath that she makes on on our mailbox or on our door. So I do have a fall
Nice.
Halloween themed bow on my mailbox, but I certainly do not have the talent to do that. But it's so fun seeing the stores. All the
Yeah.
mums are out and all the pumpkins and the Halloween candy. I mean, it's just a fun time of year.
Yeah.
So we're all set for all that kind of stuff. And, you know, trick-or-treating is going to be here before we know it. And if you want to pick up something easy, you know, our delis, a lot of our stores have delis, and I am using in this recipe a rotisserie chicken for our chicken pot pie, and I thought, oh my gosh, you know, I need to remember that when it's Halloween night, I can just grab something from the deli or get a rotisserie chicken and do something easy so the kids can eat before we go out trick-or-treating.
See, what I was going to do is I was going to make mini chicken pot pies and put them in all the trick-or-treat bags for all the trick-or-treaters.
Yeah, I'm sure you were. And this would be a good one too. You know, you could get it ready the day before,
Yeah.
and then you could just have it heating up in the oven. You can eat when you get home or whatever. So, like I said, I'm using a rotisserie chicken, so I already pulled the meat, and it's in our bowl back there. I think you're ready for your seasonings.
I am ready for my seasonings.
So remember, we did some fresh thyme, which is
Yeah.
about a tablespoon, and then I have a 1/4 teaspoon of poultry seasoning, a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So that's going to go in there, and
And we'll put that in there.
we're going to put that in the oven. Yep, I'm going to do a little bit of olive oil and salt and pepper on this.
Okay.
And I have on the website, and I've done on here before, chicken pot pie. I love chicken pot pie, and if you go on the website, it says Posey and Papa's chicken pot pie, which is my grandparents. And my grandfather was an absolute awesome cook. My grandmother Posey, who I talk about, and she's actually been on before, is an excellent baker. And so she would always make the crust, and Papa would, of course, make the filling. And this is actually his blue, his blue bowl. I called my mom. I was like, hey, do you have Papa's pot pie bowl? And she was like, yeah. And so I went over there and grabbed it, and I was like, I really think this should be living at my house.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't think so. So it's kind of fun to use his bowl for this. So I'm just going to do a tablespoon of olive oil, and then I have, again, a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So we're going to pop these in the oven at 400 just for about 10 or 15 minutes, just to get them, you know, nice and soft, and then we'll be just putting it all together. So it'll be yummy.
That sounds great. We'll come back and check that out in just a little bit. Smelling good, Lucy. So obviously that segment was taped earlier. You heard me referencing Halloween and the fact that I was going to give out chicken pot pies to everyone for trick-or-treating.
Did they get him?
I did not do that.
Oh, lucky them.
We went ahead with the standard candy. So yeah, had a lot of fun for Halloween. That chicken pot pie recipe, though, is good for any time of year from now through the rest of the holidays. So check that out. That's online on the Studio 10 tab.
Especially with cold weather coming up.
Especially with cold weather coming up. Michael White will join us in a little while to tell us more about that. But here's a sneak preview. You can see today the storms may roll in a little bit later. We'll tell you more about that throughout the show. Coming up, though, a golf tournament to support youth sports.
And a local veterans group is inviting you to a special gala. More on that when Studio 10 returns after the break. Well, welcome back. You are invited to the Diamond and Pearls Gala. It's a special event for the Community of Hope supporting our local veterans. We have Denise Boyd this morning to tell us more. Denise, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you all for having me.
Of course, we are so excited that you are here. So first of all, for those who are not familiar with what Community of Hope is, just kind of explain what the mission of this organization is.
Well, we're coming up on Veterans Day.
Right.
And what the Community of Hope does is that we provide shelter for homeless veterans.
Okay.
We also provide peer-to-peer mentoring so that we can help them to get back to being productive. And to do that, we have a case manager which is assigned to each veteran that we find that need our help so that they can help them through whatever they need in order to be self-sufficient.
Awesome. It's a great organization, definitely. And so you guys are holding a gala to kind of support this mission. So tell us what the this event is all about.
Well, the gala is about having fun and fundraising.
Yes.
Those two things together. It's going to be at the Bright Spot on Saturday, November the 10th at 6:00 p.m.
Okay.
We're also going to have dancing. We have some jazz with Harvey Anton. So it's a lot of fun, plus all of the proceeds will go to help our veterans.
And that you can't ask for anything more. So who all is invited to come? Is there an age limit? And how do you get tickets?
Well, you can call 422-4617.
Okay.
And she will tell all of us where to come and bring you tickets.
Okay.
Or you can get tickets at the door.
Okay.
There is no age limit. Everybody is welcome.
Perfect. Awesome.
I would like to tell you who we're honoring, if that's okay.
I would love that.
We have 5 veterans that we're honoring. They're local veterans who have served and then came back home.
Okay, and they're from Mobile?
They're from Mobile,
Awesome.
all from Mobile. And one is Gary Moore. He served in the Army.
Okay.
Samuel Thomas, he was a Navy SEAL. Sandra Stewart, she was with the Air Force. Sharon Mayhorn is with the Army. And James Prowl was also with the Army.
Awesome. Well, congratulations to them. I know they're going to love this event to honor them, and good luck with this event. Of course, we will put all of this information for you on our website, as you can see on the screen there, all of the information you need to get those tickets. And again, you said when you order the tickets, you'll bring them to them.
Right.
Awesome. Well, again, that event is this Saturday. We'll put that information for you on fox10tv.com under the Studio 10 tab. Joe?
Help support youth sports in Mobile. Corpus Christi Catholic Schools is hosting Cougars on the Fairway, a golf tournament coming up next weekend. We have Deck here from the Corpus Christi Booster Club to tell us more about it. Deck, good to see you.
Hey, glad to be here, Joe. Thank you.
All right, so Corpus Christi is the Cougars.
Yes,
So this is Cougars on the Fairway.
It absolutely is.
There you go. So tell the folks a little bit about Corpus Christi and youth sports and how that all comes together.
Well, Corpus Christi is a Catholic school here in Mobile. We're an elementary and middle school, and we participate in CYO athletics here in Mobile against all the other Catholic schools in town. And as the Booster Club, you know, it's part of our job to oversee the sports program at the school. Mm-hmm. We oversee the fields, help maintain the gym there at school. So, you know, we do a little bit of everything there.
So how important are events like these to help raise money for the things that you're trying to do for these kids?
Well, it's very important because, you know, the money that the children pay to play CYO sports actually goes to CYO. So we have to do stuff like this for our particular school so we can maintain the field, maintain the gym, you know, make sure that the facilities are as good as they can be for all the kids who use them all day.
And of course, a lot of the folks out there in our viewing area, myself included, are golfers. So what a great way to have this is to hold a golf tournament. Tell us a little bit about what's going to take place with this tourney.
Well, the tournament is next Saturday on November 17th at Spring Hill Golf Course. It's a 4-person scramble, so you don't have to be a great golfer to play because you should have 3 other buddies who can help back you up.
Right.
It's $400 for a team, and with that entry fee, you'll get to play. You'll get your golf cart. You'll get a fully catered barbecue lunch that afternoon. We're going to have prizes for closest to the pin and long drive, prizes for first, second, and third place teams. And we're going to have some door prizes at the end of the tournament, too.
So lots of good stuff to look forward to. Spring Hill, great golf course.
It is.
Local golf course right in the heart of Mobile. So
Absolutely.
How do the folks go about signing up if they want to take part and help support y'all?
Well, they can reach out to me via email at vp@ccsboosterclub.com,
Okay.
and I'll be happy to get them an entry form. And all they have to do is fill that form out and send it back to me, and we'll put you on a team.
All right.
We'll have it ready to go.
Sounds good. We're going to post that information online as well so you can have that. But there you see it, Saturday, November 17th, not this Saturday, but next Saturday. Spring Hill College Golf Course helps support the Corpus Christi Cougars. Deck, good to see you.
Thanks
so
for having me.
coming in.
Appreciate it.
Hit them straight. Are you playing or just overseeing?
I'm not, since I'm overseeing
Yes.
it. I was told that I probably should not play too because I have too much going on that day.
Too much going on.
I wish I was playing though, but
Hey, you wish you were playing as well, I bet, so you can come on out and support that. Now, speaking of youth sports, we're back with Nassar Gymnastics next. Take a look at these ladies getting ready to tell us more about what they have coming up. We'll do that right after this break.
Of all these girls' hard work.
Guys, we are back on television with the folks from Nassar Gymnastics hosting their 2nd annual gymnastics competition. You heard Lolly here talking about how proud they are of all of their students. The Azalea Classic is the tournament. It's going to feature more than 140 gymnastics from across the state. Lolly, good to see you. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having us this morning, Jay.
And let's introduce these ladies. Tell us your name.
Avery.
And how old are you, Avery?
I'm 10 years old. Anna, and I'm 8 years old. I'm Kennedy, and I'm 9 years old.
All right, and they're going to show us a little bit in just a little while. But first, let's talk a little bit about Nassar Gymnastics. Tell us about it, Lolly.
Nassar Gymnastics is a family-run business, and we've been proudly serving the Mobile community since 1970. My father, Mr. Nassar, was a former Olympic gymnast. At one point, he was ranked 16th in the world.
Wow. That's incredible. So out of his passion, did you get the passion for gymnastics as well?
I was born in the gym, absolutely, Joe.
And carrying that forward throughout with your students as well. So tell the folks a little bit about this tournament that's coming up. What's going to take place this weekend?
We have about 150 girls from all over the region coming to compete at our gym for our very own home meet, the Azalea Classic, this Saturday. Competition will be running from 8 to 6:30 p.m. We invite everyone to come out and watch and support. These girls will be competing as well. They work very hard, and just to see the athleticism of these children is very neat.
So we've got the mat out here, so we want to see a little something this morning. Tell us what we're going to see here.
I'm going to do a back walkover. I'm going to do a back handspring. I'm going to do the same as Anna, back handspring.
All right, let's see it, girls.
Good job.
Yay! Good job.
Good job, Kennedy.
Whoa! Very impressive.
Excellent, Avery.
Yay! Give a round of applause for the girls out there. I
job,
see their moms and friends and family in the background watching the show. You guys did fantastic. So what are these girls going to do in the actual tournament this weekend? How does that work?
They each have a routine. They compete all 4 events: the bars, the beam, the floor, the vault. They have routines with music. They'll compete against other girls doing the same routines within their age group, and then there's also an all-around award.
Very cool. All right, so if people want to learn more about Nassar Gymnastics and perhaps get their children involved in all the things that you guys have going on, what do they need to know? How can they contact y'all?
They can call us, but they can also look at our website at nassargym.net, and we're on social media on Facebook, Instagram.
Now, I see in this graphic here we have admission, so the folks who are watching the show, they can simply come on out and watch this event as well. Tell us about that.
Yes, everyone can come and watch. It's a completely open event. We invite everyone to come see. We're very proud of our gym. All of our gymnasts work very hard. I'd love for you guys to come out and support us and just to come and see the action.
And see everything that is going on. Girls, you did a great job this morning. Thank you so much for coming in. All right, we are going to post all that information online when we come back on Studio 10, finishing up in the kitchen with Lucy Greer. She made that butternut squash chicken pot pie. You'll see that finished product next.
Fox 10 Outdoors with Jason Smith.
The tide is a very important element that impacts fishing in our bays and rivers. A falling tide is best because it gets the bait fish on the move. Fish can also bite well on an incoming tide. The key is to find areas with good water movement, especially on light tide days. After catching bass and even a redfish, I made a cast accidentally a little too far off the bank. It was time for another surprise. Oh, something's going on there. There he is. Oh boy. This is kind of a cool spot. That may be a speckled trout. I'm not kidding. Look at that. How many different species are we going to catch today? We have caught redfish, bass, and now we're catching speckled trout up in here. We're using that live shrimp. We've even caught a catfish. And that one's probably a keeper. He's just at 14 inches. He might be 13 and a half, might be a little undersized, but I mean, just a total smorgasbord of fish. Bass, speckled trout, catfish, and redfish today on Outdoors.
All right, back with Lucy, finishing up our fall chicken pot pie.
Yes, we are almost there. We just put our butternut squash out of the oven.
Okay.
So we dice that up, just let it go in the oven for about 10 minutes with some olive oil and salt and pepper. And then I have about 2 cups of cooked chicken in here, and I just use rotisserie chicken because it's easy and they're so yummy. And also, you know, I pulled most of it, and then I can use the leftovers to, you know, feed the kids or do whatever. So it's a really good value. And then we sauteed up our veggies. That was onion and celery and mushrooms, and they got some pretty color on there. And we seasoned it up with some salt and pepper and poultry seasoning and fresh thyme. And then over here I have, and I told you this is my grandfather's bowl that he used to use for chicken pot pies, and my mom let me borrow it. And Posey, my grandmother who did all the baking, I'm sure she will not be pleased with my store-bought crust crust that we're using today, but I guess if she wants to make me some crust, she can go for it. But so today I'm just using store-bought crust. I just got this one out of the dairy department, or you could get the ones out of the frozen department, you know, that are in the pie shell. You could use puff pastry, just whatever. So this was a 2-pack, so I put one down. I sprayed it, and I put one down. Last time I made a pot pie without a bottom crust, my family went a little berserk. So if you want to please everybody, do a bottom crust. So now I'm just going to add some peas and some corn, and these are just frozen veggies that I let defrost, and I just did a cup of each. And my grandfather always put elbow macaroni in his pot pie. If y'all have seen me make pot pie on here before, I did this, and I'm telling you what, because I used to make this in college, and people used to go nuts, and it's really just, I don't know, it's a really neat just thing that he did, and so of course I do it too. And now I'm gonna do cream of mushroom and cream of celery, and I'm gonna use 2 cups of chicken broth, which is, I already used 2 cups out of that, so it's just gonna be the remainder of that, and then we're gonna add our butternut squash.
Okay, you want me to put this in here?
Yeah, go for it.
I'll help you out here.
And you could, of course, make this veggie. You know, you could just omit the chicken, and this would be really hearty enough with the butternut squash and the mushrooms. And it's really going to be, like you said earlier, just something that really warms you up. You know, our cool weather, I think, is coming. And
we all think it's coming.
We all think it's coming. I know when it's hot, we want cold. When it's cold, we want hot. But I could eat pot pie all year long. So we're just going to add this in and then put our crust on top. And it's just going to bake in the oven for about 45 minutes, maybe an hour. If you see that the crust is getting too brown, just put some foil on top. I burned my other one because my kids distracted me, and I'll blame it on them.
Blaming the kids.
Blaming the kids. They were, you know, they're always, you know, the kids are always wanting something.
Yeah.
And mine are obsessed with the little dum-dum suckers, and they're always saying, sucker, sucker. So I gave in, I was getting the suckers, and then I burned the pot pie.
I tell you what, though, I think you are going to be obsessed with this fall chicken pot pie that Lucy's making. This recipe looks absolutely fantastic. Putting it in Posey's dish there, and then putting another pie crust on top.
Yep, I'm just going to poke a couple holes in it and get it in the oven.
Sounds good. The recipe is online, the Studio 10 tab at fox10tv.com. Lucy, thanks a lot. Great to see you. Aerospace phenomenon captured by the International Space Station. Take a look at this. It's the Earth, but it looks a little different.
I'd say. No need to worry, though. It's not light from an alien invasion. The orange color surrounding it is an effect called air glow. It occurs when bands of light stretch up into the atmosphere and diffuse.
I read on the social media that some people who were formerly flat earthers, as in they didn't believe that the Earth was round, now have a new theory that it might be donut shaped. So there you go.
One extreme to the other.
Science. A certain green Christmas-hating beastie returns to theaters this weekend as the folks behind the Despicable Me movies put their spin on the popular Dr. Seuss Yuletide tale.
David Daniel has a preview.
Who is this mean fellow with his skin all green and his teeth all yellow?
The Grinch is back, and he's still a jerk.
You're a mean one, mister.
Benedict Cumberbatch provides the voice of the snarling sourpuss.
Excuse me, are you getting that?
Who finally goes over the edge when he gets some terrible news from Bricklebaum, voiced by Kenan Thompson.
The mayor wants Christmas to be 3 times bigger this year. That means 3 times the lights, 3 times the eggnog, 3 times the...
Information needed.
Aha! That was a good one.
You know the plan.
I'm going to steal their Christmas.
First, he'll have to train his companions, Max and Fred, to resist the temptations of presents and cookies.
No, no, no! Look at yourselves! Discipline! We must... resist.
Pharrell Williams provides the narration and some social commentary.
All this excess and nonsense, it was all about greed, about meaningless stuff that they didn't even need.
Of course, we all know there's no stopping Christmas. In Ho Ho Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
So, my kids saw the previews for that. They absolutely want to see it, which I think is the point. You know, I've been on my soapbox before about Hollywood remaking the same movies over and over and over again. They just had The Grinch a little while ago.
I know, with Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey. And we talked about Shrek coming out again earlier on the show. Give me something new, Hollywood.
Everybody loves a remake.
Yeah, I'll write a movie. My movie would be called Stormy Wednesday, and it would star Michael White.
Oh, thank you.
That's your lead into the weather segment.
I appreciate that. Here's a look at what we've got on the radar. Only a few scattered showers locally. Big storms are off in parts of Mississippi, northwest of Hattiesburg. Our chance to see bigger storms will come late this afternoon and tonight. So be aware of that and keep the umbrellas close by. We look at the bigger picture. Now, the front that moved through yesterday is stalled near Interstate 20. We still got south wind flow out of the Gulf. That's the reason the air is so muggy and humid, and the reason why we even have a rain and storm chance to begin with. The coverage today is going to be about 60%, and we'll see coverage around 40 to 60% between now and Friday. We'll start to turn drier by the time we get to the Veterans Day weekend. Severe weather risk zone is in place today. It's a level 1 on a scale of 1 to 5, and really it's for anyone south of I-20. It goes from Austin, Texas to Dothan. So that just means severe weather is possible, not probable. No tornado threat, but any strong storm that appears could produce gusty winds. Just be aware of that and understand the higher probability to find that is going to be in the evening hours locally. As we run the Fox 10 Futurecast forward, we'll have scattered showers and storms during the daytime, but once we get to the evening hours, the rain becomes more widespread. That's a look at 9 o'clock tonight, and understand that it'll be lined up along I-65. Not everyone will see heavy rain and lightning, but some of you will, and gusty winds, as you saw, could be a possibility. So today we'll have a high of 80, muggy, rain and storms possible with a south wind, the sky cloudy. Overnight tonight, puddle duckies back because rain is more likely with mid-60s for an overnight low, and expect a light north wind at about 4 to 8 miles per hour. Now notice over the next 4 days, temperatures drop by 20 degrees from this afternoon to Saturday afternoon, from a high of 80 to a high of 60. The Veterans Day weekend is going to be drastically colder. Mid-40s expected by Saturday morning. 65 the high for Veterans Day Sunday. Temperatures stay on the cool side into next week, but rain could still be a part of the forecast. It looks like that might be a bit of a cooler rain. And we could see another cold shot coming even after next Tuesday. So we'll be fine-tuning the forecast in the days ahead. But just know that warm, muggy air stays today and tomorrow. And then we go drier and colder for Veterans Day weekend. And it looks like we're going to stay a bit on the cool side.
Bring it on.
Once we get there, for sure.
You're ready for that? Ready for the cooler weather? Cooler weather usually means basketball season.
Absolutely.
It's a winter sport for most.
Yes.
We want to remind you the Harlem Globetrotters are coming back for 2 shows on the Gulf Coast. The Globetrotters will play Thursday, November 29th at the Pensacola Bay Center, or they're going to play both. Yeah, so that should be and Thursday, December 4th at the USA Mitchell Center. We're giving away free junior prize packs to see either of the shows.
Cool. One grand prize winner will receive 4 VIP tickets and other prizes, including autographed balls and shirts. 4 runners-up will also receive free tickets. To enter, just go to our website, fox10tv.com, and click on contests. Your last day to enter is November 25th, so you have a little bit of time before you run out.
Yep, and tomorrow is the day that I mentioned. I'm hopefully supposed to be meeting up with the Globetrotters to preview this big event coming up. So wish me luck in my basketball endeavors, dropping threes like Steph Curry. You know how I do.
I have faith you will do it.
Thank you.
What was the final score last time y'all played horse? Or globe, is that what it was? You played globe?
G to Globe, which is the best I've ever done. I got the letter G on one of the Globetrotters.
Wow, that is a big deal.
Got one. So again, today, Michael, perhaps some storms a little bit later as we go throughout the day.
It looks that way, and then get ready for a chilly Veterans Day weekend.
Ready.
Good. Carly, thanks for hanging out.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Glad
good
to be
job,
here.
Carly Bragg.
Thanks.
Yay. All right, we'll be back tomorrow with more Studio 10 at 9 a.m. We hope to see you then.
See you
All of that
later.
almost rhymed. Not quite, but almost.